In this video, I'm going to be doing a what is in my bag video, or a WIMB. I'm going to be showing you guys what an average medicine resident takes in their big doctor bag to work on an average night shift. Most of it is your average doctor stuff, but some of it is definitely a little bit unexpected. So keep watching if you're interested in seeing what an average doctor living and working in Manhattan takes on their 12-hour night shift. My name's Shireen, aka Halal Girl New York, and I am a doctor from London living and working as a first-year medicine resident here in Manhattan. So first up, this is the bag that I take to work. Yes, it is a charcoal grey colour, and so unlike me. As someone who loves every bright colour under the sun, it is kind of unexpected that I take a grey bag, but honestly at work, practicality comes first. This was a rucksack given to my husband from his work. He's also a doctor, but he doesn't really use this rucksack. He prefers a shoulder bag or a string bag, so I kind of just took it off him. This is by a company called Zusa, who I've never heard of, but I'll Google them after this video. It has padded, what are these called even? It has padded straps so it doesn't put too much tension on your shoulders, and it also has a whole bunch of pockets. A smaller little outside pocket, a front pocket, and then the main compartment as well. I started my medicine residency in the midst of the pandemic. My first day was COVID central, so I decided to separate my belongings in different compartments. I call the front pocket the COVID pocket, and then the main pocket has all my personal belongings. So I'm going to take you through pocket by pocket, kind of just to give this video some structure. I just finished 2 weeks of night float. I had tons of requests to show me what's in my night shift bag, so hope you guys find this helpful, or at least mildly entertaining. I'm just asking for mildly entertaining. I'm going to start with the front zipper pocket, and I like all my most easily accessible items in this front zipper pocket. So the first thing we have is my AirPods. I've had AirPods for about 9 or 10 months now. My husband actually got them for me as an anniversary present, and they have honestly changed my life. I didn't have AirPods for such a long time, and when I would FaceTime my sisters, they would literally be like, why are there wires on your headphones? The next thing we have in this front pocket is my hospital ID. For security purposes, every time we walk into the hospital, we have to show our ID card. So I find it really useful to have it just in the open pocket. Sometimes I just reach behind and unzip it and can pull it out just like that. I wear my hospital ID throughout my entire shift, whether it's day or night. And then as soon as I leave the hospital, I like to take it off because it feels kind of weird having this huge doctor sign and walking around and getting on the bus or the subway. So as soon as I leave the hospital, I pull it off and it goes back into my front pocket. The next thing we have are my keys and my purse, and they're always just in the front pocket. Is that great for security reasons? Probably not. I would advise everyone to put your valuable belongings inside your rucksack, and usually what I do is when I'm leaving the hospital and taking my ID card off, I'll put my purse and my keys in the inside pocket just in case, because you can never be too cautious. But while I'm in the hospital, if I'm going to the cafeteria, I'll just keep it in the outside pocket. So moving on to the front pocket of my rucksack, I call this the COVID pocket or the dirty pocket. I don't really want things that have been in clinical areas, like around patients, touching my personal belongings like my clothing or my food. So I designate the front pocket as the dirty COVID pocket. First thing we have is hand sanitizer. Even though there is tons of hand sanitizer all over the hospital, I always like to carry my own hand sanitizer. I feel like in this day and age you can't be too careful. It's aloe vera scented and kills more than 99.99% of germs, leaving hands feeling soft. So there you go. Next thing, you might be thinking, what the heck is this? But it is, of course, my stethoscope. I can't go a day on my night shift without a stethoscope. Obviously, I need to listen to my patient's lungs. And obviously, when we're admitting patients and doing our physical examinations, we need our stethoscope to do the exam completely. It actually has my name engraved into it. A lot of us, when we got our first stethoscopes in our 3rd year of med school, were super excited about it and all got our names engraved and chose different colors. I went for this black and gold color theme. I think it looks really retro and kind of vintage. And I haven't actually seen anyone else in my hospital with this color combo, so it's useful to know that this is mine and no one can accidentally pick it up. I keep my stethoscope in this bag. This was actually my husband's idea. I think this was his, but obviously he's a dermatologist and doesn't need his stethoscope anymore. This is my original steth from med school. I just stole my husband's bag and his stethoscope as well, so I have a backup. And I keep it in this bag just for hygiene reasons. Even though I clean my stethoscope after every single use, I just don't like the idea of it touching anything else, even when it's in the COVID pocket. Next thing is this notebook, and the reason this is in the COVID pocket is because sometimes I take this notebook down with me when I get admissions overnight to the ED, which is the emergency department. If there's ever a topic that comes up that I want to do a bit of reading into, I'll just flick open the notebook, write it down, and then close the notebook again. I have a bunch of papers from previous admissions. Sometimes I do keep my notes when I've admitted a patient, as long as it's confidential for my own learning purposes, but usually I do throw all my paper notes in the bin. This is also a really nice high quality notebook. It is a Shinola notebook. I got it when I went on a brand trip to LA with a medical apparel company called Figs, and this was in the goodie bag when we arrived at our hotel. It's actually personalized. Next, I have this archaic piece of equipment called a pager. Most of you may know what a pager is. It's basically a way from different medical professionals in the hospital to get in touch with you. They'll page you a short message and a callback number, and it comes as a horrible sound to this machine. My hospital actually has this really cool system where you can connect your phone to your pager. So in general, I don't really carry it around with me because I get text alerts every time I get a page. But I do like to keep it just in case something messes up the text system, because it would be a disaster to miss a page, and I would feel so bad if anyone was trying to get in touch with me and they couldn't. Next in the COVID pocket is a very COVID specific product, and it is some silicone tape called Sika tape, or maybe Sisa, probably Sika tape. And it's this silicone tape which I put on my nose to protect my nasal bridge from the N95 masks that I wear anytime I'm in a clinical area or seeing a patient. So it really can put some strain on my nasal bridge. It can cause skin peeling, it can cause worsening of acne, redness, marks, indentations. So one of my friends, Sarah, actually recommended this to me. It may slightly interfere with the seal, but it is very thin and it's just like a second layer of skin over your nose. I don't want to waste one, so I'm not going to put one on right now, but it's just like a sticker or a band-aid which you'd put over your nose like this to protect it. I will link it in the description box below if you're interested in getting it for yourself or a family member who's working on the front lines. Next in the COVID compartment, I have this plastic bag, and inside it I always keep a spare N95 mask. We do have enough at work, thankfully. I prefer these duckbill N95 masks. Right now our hospital has run out of these and just have the cup ones, which are also good, but they tend to really hurt my nose, and I just don't feel like the seal is as good as these ones. So I like to carry a spare N95 if I can and keep it in this plastic bag. And then I just have a spare regular fabric face mask. I never use these at work. This is just one from Figs. They're really comfortable and fashionable, but remember, fabric masks are not as good as surgical masks, which are not as good as N95 masks, so make sure you're protecting yourself adequately. And the last thing I have in the COVID pocket is a pen. Even a normal black pen is like gold dust in the hospital, because for some reason pens always go missing. Someone will borrow it and never give it back, or you'll drop it or leave it somewhere. They just disappear all the time in the hospital. I don't even know why. I feel like I need to write a case report on this or something. This is my favorite pen to have at work. It's this big pen, I think it's pronounced Bic. But this big pen is the 4-color one. I find it really useful if I ever need to highlight something specific in my paper notes. So it's always useful to have a bunch of different colors in one. So this is why this is my favorite and most valuable pen ever. Moving swiftly on to the main compartment. This is where I have all my personal and edible items that I take on my night shift. I like to bring a sweater or a jacket, especially on my night shift, because sometimes certain corridors can be chilly at night. Or even if they're not literally chilly, they just feel a bit more chilly at night because there's no one there. It feels a bit more gloomy and scary. So I like to have another layer with me in case I feel chilly. This jacket is from Figs. It is the Bellery Scrubs jacket in black. I love it because it has so many deep pockets, and I also got it personalized. So sometimes it's useful to have your name and your department on your jacket or your white coat, so that when you're going to see a patient or another medical professional, they can identify you instantly, and it avoids some confusion. You don't really have to have this, but I do like to have it, especially at night, because I'm covering so many more patients than you do when you're on the day shift. They might not know who I am, they might not have seen me, and if I'm speaking to a different department or healthcare professional, they can see instantly who I am, because they might not have worked with me before and might not know that I'm from the medicine team or representing the day team at night. Next, let's move on to tech. I'm not going to pretend I'm a super tech kind of girl, so I'm not going to give a review on any of these products, but I like to carry my MacBook on my night shift. Sometimes in the middle of the night shift, you might have 20 or 30 minutes where not too much is going on, so I like to just have my own laptop where I have my emails and all my personal documents. So I did bring it with me on most of my night shifts, but if I'm honest, I didn't use it that much. I just like to have it for peace of mind, and it's honestly not too heavy, so I like to keep it in there. So with that, I always have my MacBook charger, and more importantly my iPhone charger, because it's so important to have a working phone, especially at the end of a night shift. You never want to be in a position where your phone is dead when you're leaving the hospital or getting to the hospital. I like to text my husband once I've arrived and left the hospital, just so that he knows where I am, because I'm really into safety and making sure that at least someone knows where you are at all times. Also, I found the iPhone to be super useful in residency so far. I have an app for my electronic medical record. The app is called the Haiku app for Epic, where I can see patient information. I can read my pages from the nurse and things like that. So it's super useful to just have as an alert to your phone. I might even do a little review of the different apps that I use in residency so far. And if you have any suggestions for specific apps that you use in residency, please drop them in the comments. I would love to learn from you guys and see your suggestions. Moving on to arguably the most important category in the main pouch, we have the food. I usually have a box around this size in which I keep any leftovers from dinner that I want to eat in the middle of my night shift. I get so hungry on night shift for some reason. Sometimes we will be naughty and order a pizza, so I'm never too stressed about bringing food from home, but I do feel much healthier and better when I bring my own food from home. Then I like to bring a drink. It's not really necessary because there's water fountains and water bottles available at work. But having a naughty drink like Coke is kind of more like a companion to get me through my night shift rather than something I actually need. This is a necessity on my night shift, which is my iced coffee. I usually have the iced coffee with milk. I actually ran out of the last can just before filming this video, so I found a backup can of black coffee. Honestly, I can't drink black coffee. I need milk in my coffee, so I actually have an oat milk iced latte version of this, which I will link below if you guys are interested, because it's the best iced coffee that I have ever had. My husband said the same thing. Coffee is an essential on night shift. I usually have one before I head to my night shift, and then I have one around halfway through my night shift to kind of keep me going until the end. Then I have some generic snacks. This is a Nature Valley sweet and salty nut granola bar. I feel so American having a granola bar. I don't even know what we call them in the UK. I just call them cereal bars, to be honest, which I always have in my rucksack just in case I get super hungry. Sometimes you just have to shove some calories down to your belly so you can get through the night shift. At least sometimes we don't even have time to think about nutritional value of what we're eating at work because it can be so busy. I always have some cereal bars in my bag, and they have so far proven to be life-saving. Not literally, but almost literally. I also try and keep a little bottle of Tylenol, also known as paracetamol. To my UK viewers, it's called Tylenol here in the US. It did take me a while to get used to all these American brand names. Americans love their brand names when it comes to medical references or terminology and medications in general. As I'm originally British, I'm always worried that it's going to rain, and I hate getting caught in the rain, so I try and keep an umbrella with me. So that is the end of the What's in My Bag night shift edition. I will try and link as many different items as I can in the description box. I will try and link a similar rucksack because I do really love my rucksack so far. I've been using it ever since I started residency and I love it. I hope you guys found that fun, mildly entertaining and informative. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight into what it's like to be a medicine resident on a night shift in a busy Manhattan hospital. If you found this video interesting, you might want to check out my night shift vlog where I take you through an actual night shift in the hospital and give you an idea of what it's like to be a doctor in Manhattan. If you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I appreciate each and every one of you. Leave any comments or questions down below. I read them all and can't wait to reply to you guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you next time.